If right now someone is breathing with your oxygen and you still call it love, what then? For the first 10 seconds, place a hand over your chest and listen. Who is your heartbeat serving you, or a storm of feelings that doesn't belong to you? I've met so many sensitive, generous Americans who believe they're loving while slowly disappearing. Jung called this a form of possession by an archetype. The moment soul boundaries blur and someone else's shadow slips on the costume of your compassion. You feel everything. Your breath shortens when they're sad. Your stomach knots when they're angry. But healthy empathy doesn't ask you to be a container for another's suffering. Emotional possession is not connection. One drains the other, grows you both. We confuse the two because of an unconscious contract signed in childhood. If I carry enough, I get to stay. The martyr archetype smiles, inviting you into the sea. You think it's sacred. It's actually a ritual of self-erasure. In Jung's language, when the ego is swallowed by the archetype, you lose symbolic distance and decisions start serving the shadow's hunger, not the self. I'm not here to indict your tenderness. Sensitivity is a gift, but every gift needs a vessel. Without a vessel, the fire of love becomes a wildfire. With a vessel, it warms, heals, illuminates. That vessel, boundaries. Your own breath, a no that doesn't apologize. This path seeks not perfection, but wholeness, individuation, where the inner feminine can hold and the inner animus discerns. When those poles clasp hands, you stop being other people's sea foam and become the shore. Let's name things clearly so we can begin well. Emotional possession sounds like this. You're inexplicably exhausted, confused after helping, guilty when you name a need. At night, you dream you're trapped, locked doors, voiceless screams, someone else's house on fire. Healthy empathy feels different. The body stays soft with a spine. You listen without being swallowed. You touch without dissolving. You see what's yours to carry and what is theirs to learn. This is the path ahead, naming the shadow, restoring sovereignty in body and feeling, and training symbolic distance so your heart has room to breathe. 2 quick pieces to steady you from minute 1. A working definition. Empathy equals the capacity to feel. Emotional possession equals losing yourself inside someone else's feeling. 2. A 90-second ritual. Hand to sternum. Breathe 4-6 for 5 rounds. Ask silently, whose emotion is this? Then whisper, I care and I won't carry. This isn't empty affirmation. It's the first act of returning the soul to its rightful owner. And it is alchemy, fear of abandonment, lead passing through the fire of awareness into steady presence gold. If your heart is nodding, walk a little further with me. Next, we'll peel back 5 layers of this honeyed trap, from the childhood contract to archetypal inflation that confuses intensity with destiny. And I'll hand you a concrete practice map so you don't just understand, you can exit. Are you ready to place the lantern back in your own hands? Stepping out of a conversation and it feels like you've walked through a storm. Your body is wrung out, your head fogs over, and even though nothing happened to you, something deep feels lost. In Jung's language, that's what happens when the soul's boundary gets punctured. A collective archetype steps in and starts speaking through you. For sensitive Americans, back-to-back coffee confessions, expectation, heavy Zooms, family holidays, where every emotion is amplified. This happens more often than you think. It's not just empathy, it's emotional possession you stop merely feeling with and start carrying for until you begin to disappear. At the root, emotional possession isn't compassion. Compassion widens you. Possession hollows you out. Compassion is a candle you hold. Possession is a flame that eats the room's air. Most of us signed an unconscious contract very early on. If I carry enough, I'll be allowed to stay. It wasn't written in words, but in felt sense. As a child, you noticed adults calm down when you were helpful, soothing, good. Your body learned a survival ritual, gather other people's sorrow as if it were sacred duty. Over time, the martyr archetype, gentle, enduring, saintly, hardens into a mask. It feels meaningful, but the price is yourself. In Jung's terms, the instant you dissolve into another's emotion, participation, mystique, mystical togetherness takes over. 2 nervous systems braid. The feeling is so real your brain can't tell. Whose storm is this? In that state, an archetype chooses you as its loudspeaker. Perhaps the savior, perhaps the great helper. You can sound wise, guide perfectly, even deliver instant relief, and then your body pays. You shake when you need to say no, feel guilty naming your own needs, and by night your dreams trap you in locked doors, choked cries, or a burning house that isn't even yours. 3 very American slices. First, pouring 29 in marketing. A male colleague melts down before a deadline. Sarah picks up the slack, though her calendar is full. On the commute home, she whispers the old spell, "Who else will do it if I don't?" And 3 months later, she hates the job she once loved. Not the job, the unconscious rescue contract that kept signing her name. Second, 37 newly divorced, dating someone who texts, "I can't breathe without you." Mike feels like a hero, then stops sleeping, stays on high alert, and realizes he isn't in love. He's renting out his soul. Third Thanksgiving, your mother weeps out a year's disappointments. You soothe, yield your share of the table, and leave with a chest like stone. You did nothing wrong, you just forgot to ask, whose feeling is this? This is where a compass helps. Jung invites us to restore symbolic distance, the space that lets a heart stay soft while growing a spine. You don't have to go cold, you need an inner vessel. Try a 30-60-second ritual. Whenever you feel the savior roll, rising hand on sternum, breathe 4-2-6 for 5 rounds. Then say, "I care and I won't carry." Ask, if I don't rescue, what am I afraid of? Being called cold, being left, being worthless. Name the fear and you'll see the contract's essence. I traded presence for permission to exist. 2 stabilizers to plant your feet. 1 sharp working definitions. Empathy equals connecting while remaining yourself. Emotional possession equals trading your borders to survive inside another. Codependency equals behavior orbiting that contract. Enmeshment equals a relationship structure with no clear line between me and you. 2, the fast nervous system rewire frame when you're getting pulled in. Stop, touch your sternum. 2, name it. This is fear of abandonment. 3, downshift, feel both feet. 4, choose 1 boundary line. 5, offer a time to revisit. Repeat for 14 days and watch what happens. Lighter dreams, less daytime exhaustion. You'll also need language not to manipulate, but to return sovereignty on both sides. Try lines like, "I want to listen and I need 10 minutes to steady myself first. I care and I can't respond right now. I'll get back to you tomorrow afternoon. I respect your feelings and I can't be the place for the whole storm. I'm happy to help you find a better container." Say and not, but so you don't erase them or yourself. Small line, big hinge, the flame stops torching the forest and starts warming the room. Beware the sweet confusion, feeling useful can mimic feeling loved. No surprise your body gets hooked on it. When someone leans on you to breathe, you feel chosen, but it's a short high. In Jung's cautionary notes, that's archetypal inflation. The healer image swells while your real person shrinks. Simple self-test after helping. Do I feel expanded or constricted? Clear or murky? Freer or more indebted? If it's the second set, you likely cross from connection into possession. Picture a clear vessel in the center of your chest. Stories pass through, you still see and feel them, but nothing pours in unless it's yours to hold. That vessel doesn't make you less loving. It lets you stay for the long haul without burning up. And when you keep the vessel, something beautiful happens. The other person begins to see themselves. Without the fog of your overgiving, they finally touch their own pain, the true beginning of growth. If you leave a call with a heavy chest, imagine you're holding an untagged parcel. Hand on sternum, inhale. 4, exhale. 6, tie a red thread around the package in your mind. Set it down and whisper, "Whoever owns this, please receive it." No curses, just order. A few more tiles for a sturdy path. If you're an inborn HSP, that's not the same as trauma-driven hypervigilance. Hypervigilance lives in constant alarm. Fragile sleep, uninvited memories, scarce safety. That's where professional care belongs, alongside symbolic work, so your nervous system relearns how to downshift. If you mainly get flooded by signals drained after social time, vivid dreams, but you still know day from night, you're probably a sensitive person missing the vessel. This isn't a pulpit, it's a practice room. In the comments, try 2 things. 1 micro, no, you'll say today, home or work. And 2, 1 body sign that warns you you're about to flood, jaw clamp, stomach knot, shallow breath. When you write your no, someone else will find their courage. If you want gentle structure, Join our small circle each week. We'll practice one boundary line, one brief breath, and one dream question. No dogma, just consistency. Before we close part one, a bridge to part two. How the contract feeds itself. It doesn't just form, it gets rewarded. Every time you clean a room's emotions, the room goes quiet and people praise you. The brain notes good repeat, but that quiet is only the storm-changing zip codes. Next, we'll peel the labels off the reward and punishment, how praise becomes a drug, how guilt tethers you to the loop, and how dreams the unconscious's cargo ships dock. At your bed each night with an ultimatum, cancel the contract or burn out. You don't need fear, you need light, and light with good banks always finds its way home. If this touched, you don't slip away. What you just felt is the first mark of freedom awareness. In part two, we'll map the reinforcement cycle, expose the nice strategies that only skirt the shadow, and see how our culture's praise-shame grammar quietly turns goodness into duty. Stay not to endure more, but to dissolve a spell that's run too long. Signs of emotional possession in the language of dreams. From here we leave theory and step into the body, the place where the soul sends urgent telegrams. Some days you leave a conversation with your heart racing for no reason. Cold hands, a dry throat, even though nobody argued with you. Jung would call it a signal the self is knocking, reminding you a boundary was crossed. In America's hurry-open offices, non-stop chats, stacked meetings, these signals get mistaken for caffeine and deadlines. But if you listen, there's a steady soundtrack. Your life is being pulled away heartbeat by small heartbeat. Run this simple check after any interaction. Do I feel wider or smaller, clearer or foggier, warmer or dimmed? If you tilt toward the second set, you likely stepped out of yourself to stand inside someone else. Common signs include exhaustion out of proportion to what you did, undercurrent anxiety with no clear cause, guilt for naming your own needs, a fog that blocks even small decisions, a strange restlessness after you've helped, burning time, soothing others' emotions instead of doing your work, broken sleep, tight neck, jaw, shoulders as if you're holding an invisible weight, and the most subtle feeling you must prove yourself just to belong. These aren't weaknesses, they're fire alarms. Picture three very American scenes. In the ER, a young nurse keeps swapping shifts to carry the hard cases because everyone's tired. At home, she autoplays Netflix till 2 a.m. Not because the show is good, but to drown the inner noise. In a conference room, a tech lead takes every tough client question so the team won't feel embarrassed, then stares blankly at his kid's homework that night. At church, a friend shares the same marriage loop for hours. You listen, comfort, advise, and drive home heavy as if you pack their whole house into your chest. The common thread isn't kindness, it's an unconscious contract. If I carry enough, I'll be allowed to stay. When daytime signals are ignored, the unconscious turns up the volume at night. Jung reads dreams like the weather map of the soul. Motifs that often appear with possession, being pinned down, mouth open with no sound. Someone else's house on fire while you watch helpless. An endless corridor, a key that won't fit the lock. Water rising to your neck while you swim in place. A mirror gone dark. A figure familiar yet strange sitting on your chest. A child holding a bleeding rose. Or a beautiful singer luring you into the sea. In symbol speak, pinned down equals your voice overrun by an archetype. House on fire equals boundary breach. Endless corridor equals cycling an old style of love. Rising water equals feelings that aren't yours flooding the container. Dark mirror equals loss of self-reflection. Siren equals someone else's needs singing to your fear of abandonment. Don't panic, treat them as clear notices, not curses. Don't read dreams as private omens. Amplify them in Jung's way. Compare the symbol to myth, folktale, childhood memory, and the pop culture you consume. Repeating dream of broken stairs or a dead elevator. Your inner animus, the decision maker, the orienting function may be jammed, can't find shoes that fit. The persona you wear at work may no longer fit your real feet. The exact meaning is yours. The method of reading is learnable. A 7-minute pre-sleep dream ritual. Try it tonight. Put a notebook by the bed. Write a one-line invitation. If there's something I need to see about boundaries, please send me an image. Breathe 4-2-6 for 3 rounds, screens off at least 20 minutes before. On waking note, 3 things: the most vivid image, body sensation, and a title like a painting. The golden stair locked house singer by the sea. Ask 3 Jungian questions. Where is this playing out by day? What tiny act within 24 hours would honor this? If I were the symbol, what would I say? Write one small act and do it today. Call yourself back before you call anyone else. When the alarms ring by day, stop, name, choose. In a meeting, use this quick sequence. Stop 2 fingers to your sternum. Name, I'm afraid of being seen as uncaring. Choose. I'll listen for 10 minutes and I won't take extra tasks today. Add a simple downshift for your nervous system. Look around and name 5 things you see, 4 sounds you hear, 3 sensations on your skin, 2 smells, 1 taste, so your body returns to the present. When the body is less merged, the soul remembers the door home. Keep a few warm boundary-wandering sentences. I care, and I don't have a big enough surface for this right now. I want to help, and I need you to carry the responsibility for your feelings. I'm here, and I can't be the container. Listen for the word, and it keeps a bridge without building a wall. Repeat for a few weeks, and you'll see something very Jungian in antiodromia extremes reverse. The less you rescue on impulse, the clearer you become, and love grows slower, steadier, cleaner. Quick pocket card, merging versus connection. Merging wiped out after contact, lots of should, fear of being misunderstood. Stuck maze dreams, shallow breath. Connection, lighter after contact, more want, room for differences. Dreams with open doors, easier breath. Red checklist, if you tick 3 of these for 5 days straight. Wake tired despite enough sleep, constant. Self-blame in delaying your work to fix others. Free-floating anxiety dreams of being pinned, treated as an alarm. When alarms sound, don't charge the battlefield. Step off the field that isn't yours. Reward guilt diagram of the unconscious contract. Reward room calms. Praise good person identity pillar status. Guilt exhaustion. Shame without me, they'll suffer. Result behavior repeats against the body's truth. Track it with a quick body-mind dashboard. 0 to 10 sleep quality. Morning energy, number of silent resentments. This week time since your last clean, no minutes needed to come down after a heavy call. Watch the 7-day graph draw the loop on paper. Then run a 4-question algorithm before opening the emotional gate. Is this pain mine? What role fits witness? Small practical, help, or call a professional? What are my limits today? How will I restore after walk warm? Shower 3 line. Right. Seek clinical support for recurring panic depression, domestic violence, self-harm thoughts, or substance misuse. Symbolic language helps understanding. Safety and treatment need trained teams. Finish with minimalist dream work. 3 striking details. Object feeling action, hulbus, 1-day act that walks with the dream, e.g., vines, cut porn of a non-essential commitment. Community circle, drop 1 recent dream image in the comments, just a word and a title. Or share a moment when you used, and instead of but to keep the bridge. Leave a reminder for yourself/others. Empathy has boundaries. Each share is a lantern. Tonight someone may need your light. What opens next? Once you can read the signs in the dream language, the next door opens on its own, not only avoiding storms, but learning to steer through them. In part 3, we'll work a 5-step path to dissolve the unconscious contract, rebuild the vessel, and invite the animus, the clear inner masculine, to return as a decision ally. Not a miracle, just gentle daily discipline until one morning you notice your heart is still soft and now it has a spine. Ritual to exit emotional ownership and rebuild your inner vessel. A guided transcript. Before we begin, place 1 hand over your sternum and breathe 4-6 for 3 rounds. Name your aim out loud. I want to love without disappearing. That single sentence pivots you from fear to presence. Imagine you're walking home with a lantern, each step a small gesture that restores psychological sovereignty. Step 1, anchor the body. When the rescue impulse surges, heart racing, throat dry, chest heavy touch, 2 fingers to your sternum. Feel your feet on the floor and slowly scan the 4 corners of the room. Name 5 things you see, 4 sounds you hear, 3 sensations on your skin, 2 smells, 1 taste. This isn't relaxation. It's how you bring the nervous system back to now so you can choose instead of letting an archetype choose for you. What 5 things do you see right now? Step 2, restore symbolic distance. Picture the other person's emotion as a wave touching shore. You stand on shore, you are not the water. Ask, Whose feeling is this? Then whisper, I care and I won't carry it for you. That N is the bridge between kindness and limits. If guilt floods in, write 3 quick lines in your phone. On what am I afraid of to is it certainly true? What tiny action will keep me with myself? Writing slows the wheel before it rolls downhill. Which tiny action do you choose? Step 3. Boundary language breath. Words. You don't need a speech, you need clarity. Try. I want to listen and I need 10 minutes to settle first. I care and I can't take on more tonight. I'll reply at 10 a.m. I respect your feelings and I can't be the place for the whole storm. I'll help you find support. Always give yourself a concrete return time. When the time comes, you didn't vanish. You kept your word to both of you. How would that sound in your voice? Step 4. Dialogue with the animus. Your inner principle of clarity. Each evening put on quiet music. Close your eyes. See a small lamp-lit room. Someone enters neutral, steady, perhaps a lantern bearer. Ask 2 questions. What are you trying to protect and what would help you be less harsh with me? Jot whatever arises, even flicker images. If the voice still scolds, imagine it small in your palm and hand it a warm cup of tea. 10 minutes nightly for 14 days and the tone shifts from prosecutor to counselor. What did yours say tonight? Step 5. Rebuild the inner mother warmth with edges. Stand, inhale, open your arms, then hug yourself and say aloud, I mother my inner world. My yes creates, my no protects. Write 3 permissions for today. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to disappoint someone. I'm allowed to want. Simple lines, yet they loosen the old unconscious contract. Only if I carry enough do I get to belong. Which permission will you live today? Everyday scenes so you can see this working. Lena, 33 PR, her boss fires off urgent emails at 10 p.m. She used to reply instantly, waking depleted. After 2 weeks of practice, she breathes, then writes, got it. I'll handle this at 9:30 a.m. If a meeting helps, I'm free. 10:15 at 10:45. Notifications off, warm water. 3 lines in her notes, sleep. Morning comes, no disaster, just okay. She learns many things, stay okay when she stays herself. Jordan, 41, product lead partner, vents in the middle of meetings. He listens 3 minutes grounds, then says, I'm here and I need 20 minutes to focus. I'll call at 12:35 so we can plan next steps. First time anger, third time calmer. As Jordan holds steady, the talk gains structure and loses loops. Where can you try one steady sentence today? A simple progress frame so you don't get lost in feelings. Nightly rate 0 to 10. 1. Exhaustion after the day's hardest interaction. 2. Clarity on one small decision. 3. Guilt level after saying no. 4. Dream quality. 0. Stush 10. A door or light. Add 1 tiny sovereignty. Act you did, left a call on time, declined a surprise meeting, delayed a demanding text. In a week, you'll have data, not vibes about your direction. What will you track tonight? When opposites flip, an antiodromia. Set boundaries and an old anger may rise like surf. You're not getting worse. Your soul's immune system is waking up. Give anger a safe seat. Write what it protects, then discharge gently. 15-minute brisk walk, an unsent letter. 60 seconds of pillow punches. Nobody becomes gentle by denying their fierceness. What is your anger trying to guard? Safety is the ground. If there's abuse threats, financial control, or isolation, prioritize a safety plan and local professional help. Psychological boundaries do not replace legal and community protection. Freedom is a process. Sometimes the first step is leaving the wrong battlefield. Community circle. Drop 1 boundary sentence you'll try in the next 24 hours, or 1 tiny act of sovereignty for tonight. You can also share a recent dream title, Golden Staircase, Locked House. Lantern on the shore plus 1 small step it suggests. Every comment is a lantern. Yours might be the compass for someone in a storm. What lantern will you light? Optional dream add-on. If your night is talking, try the REES method on waking. Remember 1-2 images, no phone emotion. Name it, association, 3 raw links, dynamic, what's moving, tape 1, 24-hour act to honor the symbol. Dreams come alive, not by correct analysis, but by turning images into gestures. A flower on the table, 1 full sentence in the meeting, 5 minutes of silence before email. What gesture will you make? Chicago, a young manager dreams of an elevator dropping. She grips less at work, gives her team 3 unbroken minutes. Next week, she dreams of taking the stairs, still descending now with rhythm. Miami, a mother dreams waves bringing seaweed and toys. She schedules a 20-minute swim and tells her child, I need 10 minutes for me. I'll be back. A month later, calm water in a single float, the symbol softened because the need was met. Close hand to heart, one breath in, longer out. Whisper, my yes creates, my no protects. I can care without carrying. Then take one tiny step before you touch your phone. What will it be? When intensity masquerades as destiny. If there's one song that leads sensitives astray, it's the anthem of intensity. Heart-pounding thoughts, sparkling air thick, as if fate itself has arrived. You swear you've hit a cosmic crossing. Jung would tug the curtain often. This is archetypal inflation, not the truth of love. Inside, the savior image swells like a balloon, while your real self shrinks to a dot gripping the string. You start calling fusion connection missing boundaries, sacred, and breathlessness, passion. Destiny becomes velvet wrapping for an old contract. If I carry enough, I get to stay. Look for the hidden 3-part cast that flares whenever intensity spikes. Siren, hero, orphan. Siren is unmet need dressed as love, singing perfectly to your sensitivity. Feel for me. Hero is the inflated ego, I was born to rescue this. Orphan is the abandoned child within. Please don't leave me. They loop through midnight, calls, breathless texts between meetings, and this time will be different promises after every burnout. In American busyness, wall-to-wall calendars, a culture of being always on the loop accelerates. Friday, you're leaving work, the phone buzzes. I can't breathe without you. Hero grabs the wheel. Orphan floors it. Siren points the way. You sleep like you've been wrung dry and wake up calling it love. Place 2 stones on the table, fusion versus connection. Fusion dims you after contact. Connection makes you brighter. Fusion speaks in musts, must fix, must soothe, must carry. Connection speaks in wants, want to be present, want to be honest, want to respect limits. Fusion dreams clog the exits. Endless corridors, locked doors, rising water. Connection dreams, crack windows, gold-lit stairs, an open casement, moving air. Your body is the truest meter if fated meetings leave your chest narrow and jaw, neck braced, like you're hauling invisible granite. You're standing at the edge of possession, not the shore of love. Enter the animus, the inner orienting principle in women. Shadow side, he preaches and pushes you to convert others so you'll feel worthy. Healthy, he whispers, discern first, then love. Likewise, the wounded healer archetype truly heals only beside the wise one. The healer sees pain, the wise one sees edges. A big heart does not cancel a strong spine. Both are required to give love a container. Everyday scene. Dating apps. One incandescent week of messages we get each other. You feel like home. Week 2, they convert you into an emotional call center. Constant crises, be here with me through every wobble. Meetups keep stalling. Only fireworks and text. You fade, that's siren. Spiritual circles. Transcend ego, melt into oneness. You say, I need space, and get labeled closed-hearted. Are you selfish or protecting your soul? Work. A zealous lead tries to rescue every sideways project and becomes the team's emotional pillar. KPIs still slide, the lead is empty. Same pattern. Hero plus orphan chasing siren. Name the script. Like slipping a red thread from your wrist, remember intensity isn't proof of depth. It's surface weather for unmet needs. Use Jung's favored path symbol work. Stairs you can't climb. Amplify where waking are you forcing a relationship up a level by willpower, while both of your containers are thin. City map with erased street names. Animus orientation is jammed by the siren song. Delay, big decisions, 48 hours, return to the body, then talk heart. Forgetting your shoes. Maybe your persona at work no longer fits. Dreams aren't against you. They're turn signals back toward direction. A 5-minute de-romanticizing ritual. Sit tall, slow breath, and make 3 short columns. Signs of intensity, racing, heart, poor sleep, texting compulsion. Checkable facts. How many real-life meetings have boundaries been named? How do I feel after each contact? Small, truthful acts in bed by 11 reply only and agreed windows request the expectations talk. When beauty stands next to facts hollow, magic cools and right-sized light, returns the kind that grows trees, not torches, forests. Does this make love less sacred? No. It makes it more sacred because it's truer. Love with a container never steals your breath. It doesn't need you to vanish to prove its depth. It arrives like a guest who knocks, waits to be invited, removes their shoes, and learns the house rules. Hallie feared losing her partner after she ended 24/7 emotional on-call. The opposite happened, short, clear dates. Less drama, more honesty. They said I want instead of I must. Her dreams shifted from house on fire to a garden with a hose. When the container appears, love quiets and endures. 2 reinforcements so you won't fall for the siren. The 5 whispers test. After any intensity spike, ask silently, is my breath shallow? Is my face tense? Can I do my own work after this? What did last night's dream say? Do I want this or fear losing that? If 4 of 5, tighten pause all vows. 2. Deflate archetypal inflation on paper. Give your siren a brief monologue. Save me so I won't be alone. Then let the wise one answer, I'm here. And your loneliness isn't my assignment. When the voices clarify on paper, your real-life voice steadies. Community practice. In the comments, name the archetype loudest in you this week. Siren hero, orphan wounded healer, or wise one. And write one boundary you'll keep to lift the wise one. If you wish, title a recent dream in 2 words so others can learn the language of symbol with you. No one breaks the spell alone. As more lanterns light up the road, home brightens. What's next? From here, the slope eases. In the next chapter, we'll track signs of integration, how the body reports when your container has thickened, how the dream palette changes, how old relationships shed dramatics and reveal real structure, and a simple progress gauge so you don't rely on vibes to know you're growing. The day you stop needing intensity to name love, you've taken a long step toward freedom. 2 gentle prompts to reflect on. After your last faded moment, did your breath deepen or disappear? What one sentence could turn your big heart and strong spine into a true container today? Signs of integration and the homecoming to wholeness. When the inner vessel begins to hold change, doesn't crash in, it arrives like a morning where you suddenly breathe a full breath without trying. What used to trigger you rapid-fire texts, vague requests for help, guilt-laced remarks still touches the heart but no longer pierces it. Jung would say the energy once hijacked by archetypes is returning to the self. You aren't becoming cold, you're becoming clear. You're not withdrawing from life. You're standing in the right place within it. The body speaks first. The earliest signs live in the body. Your breath lengthens without borrowed music. The jaw loosens, shoulders drop as if you've set down an invisible suitcase. You no longer feel the compulsion to answer instantly. A subtle buffer rhythm appears between stimulus and response. The symbolic space you practiced now arises on its own. After a hard conversation, you don't escape into screens. You take a warm shower, make tea, write 3 lines of notes. The inner voice shifts from prosecutor to advisor. I'm here, and this can wait. That calm is not apathy. It's the delicate spine of compassion. Dreams change color. The dream language softens. Night terrors, endless corridors, burning houses, rising floods. These scenes thin out. In their place, motifs appear: a golden staircase you can climb, a window open to wind, a watered garden, a key that fits a bright room where you speak and the other person truly listens. Sometimes darkness remains, but right inside it glints a saving detail: a small candle, a path, a boat with oars. The unconscious is signaling the container is thicker. The soul's resilience is returning. The ecology of relationships work shifts first. You set clear expectations before you accept a task. Here's the timeline I can offer. Here's the scope I'll own. Paradoxically, performance improves because the work sits in the right vessel. At home, you listen without rushing to fix. Sometimes you choose warm silence over a lecture. Loved ones may bristle. At first, they were used to your unlimited availability, but 2 things happen. Either they attune to your new rhythm, or the overloaded interactions fall away to make room for mature connection. In love, conversations move from flood and rupture to short, lucid meetings that hold reality and longing and boundaries. You're no longer afraid of losing others by being yourself. You're afraid of losing yourself by being a bottomless container. A 21-day 4 corners map. To see your progress, try this nightly map for 21 days. Energy, 0-10 clarity, 0-10 guilt. When saying no, 0-10, lower is better. Light in dreams, 0-10. Add one tiny act of sovereignty you did, ending a call on time, accepting only the scope you can hold, proposing a time frame for a hard talk, turning off notifications after 9:30 p.m. After a week, the graph will confirm what your heart already knows: you're coming home. Gentle integration rights. Integration doesn't need complexity, only tender repetition. Consider a weekly Sabbath from saving 12 and 24 hours where you do not take on anyone's emotional repair, including online. Keep a nightly lantern hour. Quiet minutes in dialogue with the animus. What is tomorrow's smallest right direction? Practice a Sunday temple of yes, temple of no list. 3 things you'll open to, and 3 you'll protect with a clean no for the week ahead. And try a Monday dream title ritual. Name last night's dream as if titling a painting. Open door rain, garden golden key. Names become anchors for the unconscious. Reading your week alchemically. Map a week through 4 Jungian alchemical stages. Calcination, burning illusion, realizing intensity isn't destiny. Dissolution, letting the waters wash, tears rinsing guilt for not rescuing. Coagulation, setting form a small new habit, congeals like time-boxed replies. Conjunctio, marriage of opposites, a soft heart meets a firm spine, kindness meets limit. Not every day shines, what matters is rhythm, when the pendulum swings back. An entheodromia, the snap back into old extremes, will visit warm, then suddenly sharp, clear, then tempted to send a 2 a.m. text. Don't condemn yourself, use the 3P pause for 30 seconds. Place your hand on your chest. Phrase your prepared line. I remember the vessel. If you overflowed, repair with a small truth. The next morning, I stepped past my capacity last night. Today, I can talk for 20 minutes at 5:30. Integration doesn't demand perfection. It trains a faster, kinder return. Everyday fruit. In a hospital, a nurse who used to swap shifts endlessly now pauses before every ask, let me check my energy. She scans, sees energy, 410, smiles, and offers the morning instead. No lightning, just a body being honored. In an office, a tech lead says, and instead of becoming an emotional switchboard, I want a team that lasts, and I can't be the hotline. Let's rotate. Frontline replies. Weeks later, error charts fall, burnout cools. At home, a mother watching her stormy teen places a hand on her own heart before resting it on her child's shoulder. They breathe together. No one is rescued. Both are seen. 2 long-term supports. 1, a 2-2 relationship matrix. Vertical axis energy, after contact, up, down. Horizontal axis clarity, bright, dim. Upper right, up, plus bright or nourishing ties. Lower left, down, plus dim, need boundaries or distance. Each month, place 3 relationships in the matrix and choose 1 small adjustment for each quadrant. 2, a self-mantra. Carry 1 sentence everywhere I care, and I will not disappear. Install it like a passcode. Let it stand between tongue and heart whenever you speak. A community thread, extend the light through community. In the comments, share 1 sign of integration you noticed this week: a full breath, a dream with an open door, a conversation that included the word and. Or post a tiny boundary win, notifications off after 9:30, a graceful decline, moving a call to have dinner with yourself. If you feel safe, title your latest dream in 2 words. Someone else may recognize the same painting from their night. Toward the close, as you recognize these signs of mending, a final question rises on its own. How do we keep the flame warm without snuffing it? How do we keep mature love from collapsing back into intensity? In the conclusion, we'll light a simple invitation: live like a lantern, not fireworks. I'll gather the whole map, offer a small morning prayer, and a gentle CTA to keep becoming yourself in the world. If your heart wants 1 more deep breath, come with me to the close. When we come to the end of this winding road and return to where we began, right here in the chest, we discover something ordinary and sacred. At once, the heart can be both soft and steady. Jung would smile at this. It's the quiet pivot from I must to I want, from other people's storms to your own shoreline. You've learned to name the spell of intensity, watched your dreams change color, and practiced placing a clear vessel at the center of your chest. You're not suppressing love, you're giving it a worthy container, so the flame warms, it doesn't scorch the forest. Think back to 3 small moments from this past week and time you paused for 30 seconds before replying. One time you said and instead of but. One time you ended a call on time. Tiny acts like someone setting a lantern on the doorstep begin to change the climate inside you. Then the surprising things happen, fewer loop conversations, a body that stops demanding to be emotionally online 24/7, dreams cracking a thin window for fresh air. No one handed you a miracle. You unwove the spell yourself. If you want a morning prayer that actually travels with you, try the 60-second right hand to sternum, breathe 4-2-6 for 3 rounds and whisper, "I care, and I will not disappear." Then ask the animist, the lamplighter in the warm room. One plain question: what is the smallest next step today? Walk that small. Long roads are always seen in very short steps. What trips up many sensitive Americans isn't a lack of goodness. It's a lack of a vessel for goodness. You've started building one with boundaries, with symbolic distance, and with the language of dreams. Let this closing become a promise to yourself. I will love in a way that grows both of us. Love like that doesn't need explosions. It needs breath. It doesn't need proof. It needs presence. It doesn't need you to vanish. It needs you to stand upright in your own light. And yes, there'll be a day you slip back, texting at 2 a.m., staying on the call too long, taking on more than your container can hold. When it comes, don't indict yourself. Use the 3 Ps we practiced. Pause. Place hand on chest. Phrase your prepared line. I remember the container. Then the next morning repair with one small truth in a concrete plan. Integration isn't the path of the perfect. It's the path of the one who knows how to return. Before you go, pack this little travel kit so the road keeps living in you. Morning vow on I care and I will not disappear. Bridge phrase use and instead of but when setting boundaries. Lantern right at night, 10 minutes dialoguing with the animus, ask for the smallest step for tomorrow. 4-corner map to score nightly, energy, clarity, guilt when saying no light in dreams. Sabbath of non-rescue, 12 to 24 hours each week when you stop being the container for everyone's storm. Live with these anchors and your relationships will reveal themselves. Those willing to meet you in truth will stay. Those who need you to disappear so they can feel okay will fade. That's not tragedy. That's the natural order once you stop confusing intensity with destiny. And you'll notice a quiet miracle when you stop renting out your soul. Love returns like a courteous guest willing to wait, respecting a house with rules and growing warmer the longer it stays. For those who want the work to travel beyond words, 3 end-of-day questions. 3 minutes. When did I stay with myself? Which storm wasn't mine that I almost took? What tiny act of sovereignty will I do tomorrow? A monthly 2x2 relationship matrix. Place 3 relationships into energizes/clear, drains foggy, and choose 1 adjustment for each. Safe note, if there's any sign of abuse or control, prioritize safety and seek local professional help. Psychological boundaries don't replace legal protection. Promise to self, when caught between dissolving and being honest, I choose honesty. When the video ends, the world will be loud again. Phones will buzz, inboxes will fill. But you now carry something no one can take: interior architecture. Each slightly longer exhale is a brick. Each clean no is a latch. Each structured yes is a lit window. Inside this house, the animus is no longer a critic. He's a kind gatekeeper. The shadow no longer roars. It sits, tells its story, and waits to be integrated. You're no longer a buffet for the world's hunger. You're a warm table where responsibility is served before intimacy. Treat this as a semicolon, not a period. Next comes seasonal practices, building a monthly yes-no calendar, weaving small rites into big thresholds. Job changes, moves, holidays, and short-lived dream reading circles. With rhythm, the unconscious doesn't need to shout. With community, courage costs less. With a home, the light burns steady. If anything here helped you, let it become a weekly habit. Comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. Exhausted by love. This isn't a community of broken hearts. It's a place where hearts learn to have a container. I'll keep posting brief practices, dream reading frames, and live Q&A so this path stays not just inspiring, but disciplined with gentleness. You are expected here whole just as you are. Before the screen goes dark, take a slow breath. Picture yourself as a lantern, not fireworks, not blinding anyone, just bright enough to see the road. You were not born to be consumed, you were born to become. I'll see you in the next video where we learn to keep the fire warm without snuffing it out, to love without losing ourselves. If your heart just nodded, leave one sentence you want to remember this week and hit subscribe. The way home is always brighter when many lanterns stand together.